Ladies and gentlemen, baby faces, and all my true heel heats out there, I am Richie Moon. This is True Heel Heat Wrestling. And before we get in today's recap of Raw, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for the latest and greatest in wrestling news as we on our way to 1K. And Raw opened up with a Martin Luther King tribute. No matter what you feel about WWE, you can never question their video packages. I will put WWE's video packages against any sport in the world. Their video packages are elite. And then next up, we had Randy Orton, and he was cutting a promo in the shadows because his face was burnt. And it was so grotesque that he couldn't even show his own face. Now, in all seriousness, it was actually pretty compelling, even though the verbiage was just completely gaga. But I thought his intentions and I thought his delivery was actually really good. The problem is that seeing Randy Orton with a mask really took away from the seriousness of the promo that he was cutting. Since we're not used to seeing Randy Orton with a mask, there was tons of memes that went out and people automatically started laughing at him when in fact this was supposed to be a very serious angle. He said that he's so angry at himself for showing compassion to Alexa Bliss and that he vows that he'll never do that again, and he vows that he'll enter the Royal Rumble even if he had no limbs, and that he doesn't blame Alexa Bliss, but he blames the Fiend. This fire motif. I mean, where is this gonna end? You burned him alive. This can't end in a 1, 2, 3, whatever. We'll see how this plays out. Next up, we had Ric Flair, Lacey Evans, and Charlotte Caruso backstage. And Charlotte Caruso is trying to get some information to the relationship between Ric Flair and Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans basically wouldn't let Ric Flair speak and said that she's trying to be the dirtiest player in the game. And really just basically rubbing Ric Flair's ego amongst other things. Yikes. Next up, we had Charlotte Flair versus Peyton Royce, and I really like Peyton Royce. I really think she's developing as a wrestler. This was, how many times are we kind of gonna see a mix-up of this match? Of course, Charlotte Flair wins despite the distraction from Ric Flair and Lacey Evans. She wins with a figure 8, and this storyline continues. The Hurt Business was entering the building when Matt Riddle approaches him. He's like, "Hey, bros, hey, you know," and the Hurt Business started throwing some verbal jabs at him, and then Matt Riddle said, "I'm gonna take the high road because he smokes weed." Matt Riddle smokes weed. I'm not sure if that was clear, but he smokes weed. See, on NXT, the jokes were more subtle and it was actually funny. Yes, we understand. Matt Riddle smokes weed. And then Bobby Lashley said to Matt Riddle, "Hey, flip-flops are bad for your feet." And Matt Riddle's like, "What are you talking about?" And then boom, Bobby Lashley attempted to step on Matt Riddle's foot, but he really missed it by like 3 feet. But anyway, Matt Riddle sold it like a champ, and he says, my foot, and later you're gonna see this foot go up your ass. I hope they don't do that, because the way Raw's been going, we might actually get a stipulation of somebody's foot going in their ass. A foot in the ass on a pole match. Dude, seriously, the creative team, you gotta let Mustafa Ali work. My man cuts these serious promos and it's so believable. I believe every single word that Mustafa Ali says, and he tied up all the things that happened last year with him and Kofi Kingston, saying that he hopes Kofi Kingston misses the Royal Rumble, he misses Elimination Chamber, and he misses WrestleMania so he can feel how he felt last year when he missed his opportunity to main event WrestleMania. Ali is on point. WWE, let him work, put him in better storylines, because the man's promo game and in-ring game is A1. Next up, we had a match between Xavier Woods and Mace, and this match is really to put over the power of Mace. I know a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, he messed up his finish." Yeah, he messed up his finish a little bit, but it happens. People mess up all the time. Let it go. But anywho, after the match, after Mace got the victory, Ali just basically said, "Kofi, stay home. We're going to break your spirit." He cut a promo onto the camera, a really short promo, but it was really good. As aforementioned, let Ali work, man. Put Retribution in better story. Well, this actually is a good storyline with
with the New Day because it ties into all the things, and it really goes back to the origins of why a group like Retribution would start. So WWE, just keep doing this, man, because Retribution can actually be good if you put them into position to be good, right? That part. Next up, we got the WrestleMania report skit, and I think it's hilarious. So basically, it's Triple H, Stephanie, Sasha, Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns, and John Cena, and they're basically announcing the next 3 years for WrestleMania. And what I have to say about this is actually funny. Like I always say in my videos, when wrestling comedy is done right for us wrestling fans, it's completely hilarious. My question is, where is the disconnect? Where is the disconnect from the comedy that we see in his WrestleMania skits and Raw and SmackDown? Like, where is the disconnect? Why can't we use the same witty, clever comedy when two wrestlers are speaking? Because sometimes the wrestlers, the way they talk, nobody talks like that. Nobody would ever make insults like that. But in this skit, it was completely hilarious. If you haven't seen it, go out of your way. It's completely worth it. And next up, we had Alexa Bliss Playground segment. Now, this is basically her version of the Firefly Funhouse. And she addressed the Randy Orton situation. She said it was quite a burn. And her special guest was Asuka. And which was very interesting about this was that Alexa Bliss, there was 2 swings there. And when Asuka attempted to get in the other swing, Alexa Bliss was very adamant, like, no, don't, that seat is not for you, because Alexa Bliss has an invisible friend. And it's easy to assume that an invisible friend is the spirit of the Fiend. And every time Asuka had made a reference to the Fiend or anything like that, at one point Asuka said, "Yowie, wowie." You can see the internal darkness in Alexa Bliss really start to come out. Now, I actually like the split personality of Alexa Bliss with, you know, the nice perky Alexa Bliss and then kind of the evil Alexa Bliss. What I think WWE should really just do and double down is they should really kind of give her just like a mask, just like the Fiend, or give her something, you know what I'm saying, maybe give her the painted face like Finn Balor, because it becomes a little bit jarring when she kind of just, well, how do I describe this? There can be a more of a clear distinction between the nice Alexa Bliss and the evil Alexa Bliss. And I think it needs to just be a little bit more than black lipstick. I think WWE can go a little bit further with the costume department, just like Bray Wyatt is Bray Rogers. So happy, go jolly, and yowie wowie. And then there's a Fiend. You clearly know the distinction. There is no mistaking it between them. And us as wrestling fans, the hardcore wrestling fans, we know. But as a casual fan, I'm always thinking about the mind of a casual fan. They may not be able to make that clear distinction between the nice Alexa Bliss and the evil Alexa Bliss. So please, WWE, you can do a better job with making the clear distinction between the two. So The Miz and John Morrison were backstage, and they were talking to Sarah, and they were talking about the dirt sheet, because they've been advertising that Goldberg is going to be a guest on the dirt sheet, and she was trying to get some inside information, and The Miz basically told her, you have to wait like everybody else, and then he reminded everybody that he has a Money in the Bank briefcase. Dude, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I don't want to see The Miz as WWE champion. I don't care to. I hope he loses when he cashes in. I know. Hey, it is what it is. It's my show. I'm expressing my opinion. Oh, next up. Woo! This was straight fire. So, Ricochet wanted to get into the Royal Rumble, but Adam Pearce told him, hey man, you gotta qualify for the Royal Rumble. So he had a qualifying match with AJ Styles versus Ricochet. And this right here, match of the night, straight fire. So I'm in a wrestling group, chat group, and a lot of people were saying that Raw was great. I cover Raw every week. This Raw was not great. This match right here, this match is great. This is what you need to do more on Raw. Have 2 guys that can go in a ring for a purpose and have them just go all out. This is 12 minutes of excellence. Ricochet versus AJ Styles is a match you need to go out of your way to see. These 2 guys put it down. I hope we get to see them wrestle again, but not every single week, because then you run the risk of running it into the ground. We all know how WWE loves to run things into the ground, but this match was phenomenal. No pun intended. So many counters, reversals. Oh my gosh, the Ricochet went for something off the top rope. AJ Styles caught him, bounced him off the ropes, then it went into a Styles clash. I can't even describe all the spots. So go out of your way to see this match. This match was A1, top of the top, super dope. More Ricochet versus AJ Styles. Spread it out. You know what I'm saying? I want to see these two in a proper feud because these two really put on. I'm putting these guys over so hard because the match is excellent. Do more with Ricochet. God damn, how don't you push Ricochet? Oh my God. But anyway, go out of your way to see this match. It's really worth it. Next up, we had the Dirt Sheet, and they have been promoting Bill Goldberg all night, and we got Gilbert. Shout out to Gilbert. He's been doing this gimmick for like 20 years, and like a month and a half ago, he had heart surgery. So kudos to him for the great comeback. And then they had this fake Sheamus character come out. Here's the deal. This segment was so bad that it was just funny. Like, you should actually go out of your way to see it because it's so bad that it just turns into comedy because it's just absurd. It's really bad. Yeah, like that's my thoughts on it. I thought it was so bad that it actually just turned into comedy. So yeah, go out of your way to see it. Maybe you might be into it. Maybe you're not. It's not for everybody. But yeah, that's what I thought about. Next up, we had the Hurt Business versus Riddle and Lucha House Party. And once again, Cedric Alexander just getting too big for his britches. Started getting real cocky and arrogant and started going in. But when he needed help, at this point, Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley just sitting there just like, yo, bro, you doing too much. And they didn't really want to tag in. And then there was a point where Cedric Alexander was on the outside and even MVP was in his face like, yo, bro, you got to get it together. You really doing a little bit too, you're doing a lot but not doing anything at the same time, if that makes any sense to any of y'all. And you would think with all these distractions, with all this turmoil kind of going on in the Hurt Business, that Riddle and Lucha House Party would get the win. Nope, not at all. Because Lashley, who was one of the most protected guys in all of wrestling, tagged himself in there, got in there, hurt lock, boom, 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 tap out. Shout out to Bobby Lashley, man, because he is super protected. He's out there looking super strong. And yeah, and what I don't, okay, so after the match, Matt Riddle attacks Bobby Lashley, and then Bobby Lashley kind of gives him that look like, what the F are you doing? And then Matt Riddle runs off. I just want to make this clear. The Hurt Business is supposed to be the heels, and Matt Riddle is supposed to be the face. WWE, this is your storytelling. I'm interpreting it. I mean, what do you want? Oh my gosh, and next up, we had Elias and Jackson Ryder, and they're already teasing breaking up, and they've only been together for like 2.5 seconds. Nobody cares about this feud. If in case you were guessing WWE, nobody cares about this feud. That part. And next up, we had Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler, and guess what? These two have tension. What a surprise. And Shayna Baszler officially declared herself for the Royal Rumble. She said she's going to throw everybody out. And then Nia Jackson was like, oh, what do you mean? What do you mean every woman for herself or you're going to throw everybody out? I mean, the rules of the Royal Rumble have never changed. It's always been every person for themselves. And your objective is to throw everybody out so you can win your chance to go to WrestleMania. I guess Nia Jax must have missed that throughout her entire life. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention because I thought it was last week, but this match happens like almost every single week. Shayna Baszler tapped out Mandy Rose. I mean, how many times are you guys gonna? And next up, we had the WWE Champion, Drew McIntyre, cutting another promo from his house. But we do have some great news. One, he said he's gonna kick Bill Goldberg's ass. Thank you. And the WWE Champion will be back next week live on Monday Night Raw. So that is great. Glad that Drew has made a full recovery and he'll be back. Claymore kicking people's face off before we know it. And in the feud that nobody cares about and it seems to never end, we had Jeff Hardy versus Jackson Ryker, and Jeff Hardy's on the top rope, and Elias just clearly comes and pushes him off for the DQ. So Jeff Hardy wins by DQ. And then Elias and Jackson Ryker are arguing because Jackson Ryker's like, dude, why did you interfere in my match? These guys have been together for like 2.5 seconds and already teasing break. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care. I don't. You don't care. I don't care. WWE doesn't even care. I think that shit just happens to slip on Twitter by accident, if you ask me. Our main event, we had Alexa Bliss versus Asuka. Now, I am in the belief if you are going to have a character that has like supernatural powers or is supposed to be scary, then the wrestler that they're going against should sell it. I don't think Asuka should have sold it this much, but hey, that's just my opinion. Alexa Bliss, now I'm down for clean finishes. Alexa Bliss in the middle of the match turned into Evil Bliss. Now here's my only issue with that is like why she just didn't start off the match as Evil Bliss. She hears a sound and then she turns into Evil Bliss and then she gets like her sheened powers and she no-sells nothing. I will tell you this though, that Sister Abigail was pretty sweet and visually it did look good. My thing is just have her come out as Evil Bliss off rip. Just like I said earlier, there is Bray Rogers and then there's the Fiend. It should just be Alexa Bliss and then it should just be the Sheened. Straight up, two distinctions, but you know, I'm not knocking WWE for that. It's just not personally sitting well with me. She hears a sound and all of a sudden she turns evil. I just rather just have her just be the Sheen, just off rip, come out there, no sell everything. Sister Abigail, boom, 1, 2, 3. Now here's my only issue with this. I'm finally glad that it seems like Asuka is getting a proper feud, but it's just like, it seems like Asuka now is about to lose this title. You know what I'm saying? And really, let's ask yourself, when was the last time that Asuka had a proper feud? That part. But that was the main event for Raw. It ended off with Alexa Bliss hitting the Sister Abigail for a very cool visual. And overall, I mean, This episode of Raw was it just wasn't good, man. It just wasn't good. Like I said, I'm in this wrestling group. They said this was a great episode of Raw. Where you had one, you can't say that Raw was great when it had one good match. I can't. There's a disconnect. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. I just cover Raw every single week, but. Anywho, with that being said, I am Mr. Richie Moon. This is True Heel Heat. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe as we're on our way to 1K. I will see you next week. Hopefully, I'll make it the next week because the way it's going makes me want to rip my freaking hair out. And I got some other videos coming up on the True Heel Heat Wrestling channel. Once again, I am Mr. Richie Moon. This is True Heel Heat Wrestling. Like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the other side. Peace.